Why Kyrgyzstan? Kyrgyz people have always been known for their hospitality. As a guest, you are welcome to Kyrgyzstan. Invest in a dream. Kyrgyzstan is the country where all dreams come true. Kyrgyz people. The territory of Kyrgyzstan is 198.5 thousand square kilometers. This territory would be enough to place the entire population of the globe with a provision of 28 square meters per person. Kyrgyzstan is the only parliamentary republic in Central Asia. Due to parliamentary system in Kyrgyzstan, there is no personal concentration of power. Such conditions are extremely unfavorable for corruption. There are more than 5,000 non-governmental organizations indicating to the existence of pluralism of opinions. Basic principles of Kyrgyzstan's foreign policy is to strengthen international relations with the countries of the world and the CIS, the observance of neutrality, non-participation in military alliances and blocs, poverty and the exclusion of ethnic conflicts, strengthening the country's borders and the strengthening of regional positions, creating a favorable image of the country, the growth of competitiveness on the world arena. Kyrgyzstan is a member of 84 international and regional organizations, which leads to the high level of economic freedom and to building favorable business environment. Kyrgyzstan is a tolerant and multicultural country with centuries of cultural heritage. The population of Kyrgyzstan consists of more than 90 nationalities. The 2012 statistics indicate 5,543,300 people of population. People living in Kyrgyzstan are of different religions, languages, culture and customs. There's a big number of historical and cultural monuments, ancient petroglyphs, drowned country of Chigu tribes at the bottom of the Issyk Lake. Kyrgyzstan has the most liberal economy among the Central Asian countries. According to the degree of economic freedom, Kyrgyzstan stands on a position higher than the average across the world and the region. Kyrgyzstan has improved its rating of economic freedom on the following positions: freedom from corruption, fiscal freedom, labor freedom, monetary freedom. According to the Heritage Foundation, Kyrgyzstan's economy is open to foreign investment. Kyrgyz Republic has the most liberal labor legislation. In 2011, it has introduced a new labor code to encourage changes towards free markets, making labor laws more liberal. Kyrgyzstan has set the liberal investment regime, which allows investors to gain virtual access to all sectors of the economy. Representatives of foreign states are entitled to take part in privatization, to buy shares and securities of Kyrgyzstan's companies. Kyrgyzstan has a liberal economic system, the basic principles of which are free enterprise, free pricing system, free competition, government regulation. According to the World Bank, the project Doing Business of 2011, Kyrgyzstan has a business rating of 67 out of 183 countries. On the rating of companies registrations, 13th place, 17th on the registering property and giving loans, 8th place. Kyrgyzstan is a crossing point among Central Asian countries. The unique geographical situation results Kyrgyzstan joining the Europe and Asia. The transit capacity of country compounds up to $1 trillion per year. About 75% of goods are transferred to wholesale markets of Dordoy in the north and Karasu in the south. In 2011, their gross profit was estimated at $2.7 billion. Dordoy market is the largest market in Central Asia, at one level with such famous markets as Bangkok Chatuchak, Thailand and Tehran Bazaar in Iran. Kyrgyzstan has a developed transport infrastructure. The total length of roads is 34,000 kilometers, which represents 84.8% of the length of the equator. Kyrgyzstan has 3 international airports. Railways are part of the rail network in Central Asia. Kyrgyzstan has the lowest tax rates in the CIS, income tax 10%, VAT 12% and sales tax 1.2%. Kyrgyzstan is characterized by a high level of literacy of the population, making up to 98.7%. Each year, 47,000 highly qualified specialists graduate from 52 institutions of higher education. Due to high level of literacy of the population, average wage is less than $200, which creates competitive advantages for the placement of high-tech production. The cheapest food prices are in Kyrgyzstan. Market basket is 4,717 soms in Kyrgyzstan, about $101. Kyrgyzstan is a liberal country with a developed banking sector with 22 commercial banks, including 16 banks with foreign participation in equity. 11 banks have more than 50% of the foreign participation, compounding 3 foreign banks. Net profit of the banks was estimated at $42.307 million in 2011. Banks provide loans for a period of 5 to 10 years, with annual interest ranging from 12% to 38%. There is a large number of microcredit companies providing services in Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan has a huge hydropower potential with annual runoff of 46 cubic kilometers at 172 rivers. More than 90 small hydropower plants can be constructed. Hydropower potential of 500 megawatts power makes 18 and more than 160 billion kilowatts per hour of energy. This hydropower potential can be compared to the one of UK, France, Spain and Germany altogether. In money equivalent, this capacity makes more than $2.4 billion per year, with the minimal rates of 1.4 cents a kilowatt. One Narin river can supply more than 20 hydroelectric power plants at once. Kyrgyzstan is on the list of 20 most affluent countries with fresh water in the world. 6,580 glaciers on the territory of the country contain more than 760 billion cubic meters of fresh water. If you pour the stock in 1.5-liter bottles of water, these bottles can be filled with an area of 760,000 square kilometers. According to the United Nations, 1.9 billion people suffer from lack of water. Fresh water on the territory of Kyrgyzstan would be enough to provide this population with water, 5 liters per person per day for 219 years. Kyrgyzstan has huge reserves of minerals. On its territory, almost the whole periodic table of Mendeleev is present. The potential is estimated at $572 billion. The country has more than 25 locations of minerals, ferrous, non-ferrous and precious metals, oil, gas. On the territory of the Republic, 118 deposits of precious stones, more than 70 coal deposits and manifestations are registered. Total reserves and projections are estimated at 6.7 billion tons. Weight of coal deposits is equivalent to the weight of Cheops pyramids. Gold reserves contain up to 2,500 tons worth $109 billion, equivalent to the gold stock of IMF. Kyrgyzstan is on the leading places among CIS with the potential of renewable energy. The use of small water power, solar photovoltaic and wind power stations are the most suitable for development. The total potential of renewable energy in Kyrgyzstan is about 840 million tons of fuel per year, which in monetary terms is over $48 billion, when in fact they're about 0.2%. According to the solar energy which annually drops to the territory of Kyrgyzstan, there is 570 million tons of fuel reserves. The existence of silicon also specifies the investment potential of solar energy as the silicon used for solar cell production. According to a study by the World Bank Doing Business 2012, Kyrgyzstan stands on the 13th place in the rankings of the investors' protection degree from 183 countries. Investments and investors are protected by the law on investment in Kyrgyz Republic. The national regime of economic activity, removal of repatriation outside of Kyrgyzstan to return the investments, protection from expropriation, free cash flows are to be followed. There are 4 free economic zones: Bishkek, Maymak, Narin and Karakol. Exports and imports of goods in free economic zones and goods intended for re-export are completely free from customs charges. The free economic zones simplify the procedures of entering and exiting the country for foreigners. Goods for export are exempted from quota and licensing. Customs procedures are simplified. In respect to trading partners, Kyrgyzstan has applied the following trade regimes: CIS, the free trade regime, the Eurasian Economic Community, Customs Union, the countries of the WTO, the most favored, least developed countries, preferential treatment. The single window project in the field of foreign trade is being successfully implemented, aimed at streamlining, reduction and simplification of trade procedures, resulting in a gradual build-up of the country's export capacity through the expansion of foreign economic relations. Over 10 years of Kyrgyzstan's GDP has tripled. In the period from 2003 to 2011, the average GDP growth rate was 4.7%. GDP in 2011 reached $6 billion. During the last 10 years of investment in Kyrgyzstan grew up more than 5 times. Investments in fixed assets in 2011 announced to $1.2 billion. From 2000 to 2011, the volume of exports in Kyrgyzstan increased by 351% and imports by 677%. Mobile communication is highly developed in Kyrgyzstan. The number of mobile users reached 3.2 million. Mobile communication incursion has reached 53%. More than 85% of the population is under cellular communication coverage. Kyrgyzstan has 8 mobile operators licensed for the provision of mobile communication services. The total number of internet users has reached half of the population. More than 90% of personal computers are connected to local networks, and government organizations use an automated accounting system in 100% quality. There are 63 operators providing data services and internet access. Every hour there are 45 new members on internet. In Kyrgyzstan, the demand for housing exceeds the supply by 23%. 53 high-rise residential buildings with total area of 236,900 square meters, or in 2,175 apartments, was built and commissioned in 2011 in Bishkek. The market value of 1 square meter ranges from $800 to $1,100. The cost can reach up to $450. In recent years, the construction industry in Kyrgyzstan is the leader in growth, outpacing the growth of GDP, more than 5%. This is due to the growing need for buildings and structures of various types. The most promising areas are now building projects in the areas of residential, corporate real estate, construction of office and industrial buildings with modern technology. Kyrgyzstan has great potential for agricultural development. It is the best place for growing agricultural products. Environmental conditions, pure virgin nature, a huge underdeveloped area. The land area of Kyrgyzstan is 19,995.1 thousand hectares. At the moment, the used for agriculture area is arable land 1,420 hectares, 9,187 hectares of pasture. One of the most important areas of Kyrgyzstan's development is the development of infrastructure. The most promising avenue in infrastructure is presented by the construction through public-private partnership. Law of Kyrgyz Republic on the public-private partnership, which creates a transparent and favorable conditions for both the investor and for the state, was passed last year and endorsed by the international organizations. Lake Istocnik, rightfully called the Pearl of Kyrgyzstan, the amount of sunny hours is 2,700 hours per year, more than in the Black Sea. For comparison, the number of sunny hours in Moscow, still 1,700 hours per year. In 2012, the expected amount of tourists is 3 million. Hunting with a falcon or golden eagle is also the traditional national sport. Kyrgyzstan is a home to several species of animals listed in the Red Book. Adelia, a type of gazelle, Argali, Marco Polo sheep, Maral, deer, lynx, snow leopard. Thus, the total investment potential of Kyrgyzstan can be assessed almost by $12.3 billion. That is why we welcome to invest in the Kyrgyz Republic.